It sits at the center of nearly every dining table, completely ignored until a meal needs a quick adjustment. Imagine if that same ordinary seasoning was locked inside high-security vaults, smuggled across international borders, and treated with the precise geopolitical reverence we reserve for oil or gold today. For thousands of years, this was absolute reality. Global economies and powerful states depended entirely on these tiny crystals. It served as a biological necessity that dictated where ancient cities could grow and which early empires would possess the wealth to dominate their neighbors. Before modern temperature control, humanity faced a strict biological deadline. A successful hunt or harvest yielded food that began decaying immediately. Fresh meat and caught fish turned dangerous to consume within a matter of days. This narrow window trapped early populations close to their immediate food sources and made surviving long winters a constant mathematical risk. The chemical solution they discovered was ingenious. Sodium chloride actively pulls moisture out of raw tissue, eliminating the environment bacteria require to multiply. Halting this decay erased that strict biological deadline. Caloric energy that usually spoiled in hours remained safe to consume for months. We see the physical results in preservation techniques from the era. Layers of coarse crystals aggressively packed around caught fish allowed coastal communities to store their surplus deep into the off-season. By overcoming the barrier of rapid food decay, salt gave early civilizations the stable, portable nutrition they needed to settle and survive in harsh climates and remote territories. With food stabilization solved, generals could provision armies for transcontinental marches, and growing cities could reliably feed expanding populations. Demand for the mineral skyrocketed. Rulers mapped this dependency quickly. They mobilized massive labor forces to hollow out subterranean deposits, hauling out tons of raw product to feed a constant public need. To guarantee their cut, governments enacted strict state monopolies. Extracting, moving, or selling a single ounce outside of state control became a severe criminal offense. The resulting profits concentrated massive wealth at the top. The elite class flaunted their supply, commissioning elaborate hand-wrought silver vessels specifically designed to showcase a mineral they controlled completely. Centralizing a biological necessity proved highly effective. It laid down a lasting blueprint for how states consolidate political power by bottlenecking access to natural resources. The economic logic was brutally simple for early governments. If every citizen required the resource to survive the winter, placing a heavy tax on it guaranteed an unavoidable stream of revenue. This map traces how meeting this demand required moving tonnage across oceans. Merchants hauled salt alongside silk and spices, building the trade networks that connected distant population centers through an exchange of essential cargo. But taxing survival inevitably hits a breaking point. In France, the royal salt tax forced the peasantry to pay inflated prices for a required ration, draining their meager incomes with zero alternative options. When a state weaponizes a biological necessity, it highlights a deep systemic inequality. In France, this tax became a prominent grievance that helped unify public anger before the eventual collapse of the monarchy. The rigid control over the supply chain collapsed entirely with the arrival of modern science and heavy industry. Mechanized drilling and advanced chemistry replaced manual subterranean labor. Towering industrial facilities began pumping out and refining the compound at a massive mechanized scale. Simultaneously, the electric refrigerator entered the consumer market. Freezing temperatures halted bacterial decay mechanically, instantly severing the ancient reliance on chemical curing. With production maximized and the primary preservation need erased, a massive surplus flooded the market. The highly guarded strategic asset became a ubiquitous chief commodity. Today, you can purchase an entire cylinder of the mineral for less than the cost of a single cup of coffee. Yet, the next time you pick up a shaker, look closely at what you are adding to your meal. You are holding the chemical foundation that allowed early societies to stabilize and grow. The demand for these crystals built the trade routes that first pulled once distant economies into a single global network. The forces that built our modern economy rarely look like historical monuments. Sometimes they